All right, so, let me say first of all that I am more of a content guy when it comes to all this stuff than a nerdy tech guy. So I'm going to let some YouTube videos and stuff, and maybe so if we have time some TED Talks to tell you more about the stuff that we're going to be talking about, which is currently cable. I'm not having to use the fire. I'm not having to use the cable system to get a lot of interesting stuff that we've never had before, and for less money. So, okay. Let me begin by, at the beginning of, let's say, 1960, when Newton Minow, head of the FCC, was speaking to the National Association of Broadcasters.
Louder.
Newton Minow, this is a vast wasteland. Open a hyperlink and let's see what we get.
Gave a spectacular speech in 1961 to the National Association of Broadcasters Convention.
When television is bad, nothing is worse. I invite each of you to sit down in front of your own television set when your station goes on the air. Keep your eyes glued to that set until the station signs off. I can assure you that what you will observe is a vast wasteland. You will see a procession of game shows, formula comedies about totally unbelievable families, blood and thunder, mayhem, violence, sadism, murder, Western bad men, Western good men, private eyes, gangsters, more violence and cartoons. And endlessly commercials, many screaming, cajoling, and offending. And most of all, boredom. True, you'll see a few things you will enjoy, but they will be very, very few. And if you think I exaggerate, I only ask you to try it.
When I met Newt a couple of years ago, he said that I described in 1961 television was a vast wasteland. Now it's a toxic dump.
Okay, so that's and by the way, because of that, Newton Minow's being head of the FCC, public broadcasting basically got the impetus. So Channel 13, OIW, and all the public broadcasting stations basically came out of the vast wasteland of what was the TV back in those days. Now I'm going to be sending everybody who's on our mailing list this whole page and a half of links and stuff. So you'll get it. You don't have to take pictures or anything, but you'll get all the links. This is the speech. This is the text of the speech. You can see the entire speech if you want. That's the link to that page. I'm going to play you something that's a little bit different going up to 2012. Some people are saying we've been in a golden age of television since 1999. Usually The Sopranos on HBO marks that. So I'm going to give you an example of TV that is not a vast wasteland. This is a show called The Newsroom. No politics intended. It is what it is.
Newt Minow gave a spectacular speech in 1961.
I'm sorry about that. Let's try it again. It should be the newsroom.
Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Diversity and opportunity.
Lewis? Freedom and freedom. So let's keep it that way.
Well, why is
It's not the
America
greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer.
You're saying
Yes.
Let's talk about
Fine. Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of our paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money, it costs votes, it costs airtime, column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always? Hey, and with a straight face, you're gonna tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom, Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom.
All right.
And yet you, sorority girl, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. One of them is, there's absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories. Number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yosemite?
Anyway, he's a Republican, by the way. He's a Republican.
What's his name? What's his name?
Well, this is the HBO series on the newsroom, and in that he plays a news anchor. He just kind of blew up everything because news anchor is supposed to be, balanced and fair. Not like Fox, but anyway. So anyway, but that's like going from the yin to the yang or the wasteland to.
What character is doing the tirade?
He's the main character in the show from the newsroom.
Newsroom.
It ran from 2012 to 2014, 2 years. I think won an Emmy the first year.
Wow.
And this is famous for one of the
That tirade, yeah.
one of the better scenes. But anyway, that's going from the yin to the yang, as I said, and you see now. And I have a little bit of information here, but I'm going to give you a quick video from YouTube on how to put together what this cutting record actually means.
What's the TED Talk?
Well, that's more of talking about, well, I have two TED Talks. One is on basically following how TV influences popular culture or how popular culture influences TV. It goes back and forth. That's like a 10-minute piece if we have time for it. And I have an interview this year with Reed Hastings, who's the head of Netflix, talking a little bit about Netflix. But we can discuss whether we have time for that or not. But that's one of the options. And you'll be getting all this yourself, so you can always watch it yourself if you want to. But I had some information here. Okay. For example, this is the golden age, right? This is a quote from a, this is actually from an article
TV worth watching?
Yeah.
Cool.
If you read this part here, this is how many live shows you had in the good old days, starting with the 3 or 4 networks. Now you can see here, only 153 of the 2017 series aired on network TV, ABC, NBC, etc., while 175 are on basic cable. Streaming services are the biggest driver in the latest TV boom. Netflix, Amazon, Hulu account for about 117 series. HBO and other premium channels make up the final 42. So those are the new shows that are coming out basically every year that you can watch. And you can either watch it, on your cable system and pay about $20 for the premium channel each month, or you can do a little bit cheaper. You can actually pay less for the cable system and more for the programs. That's how they kind of get you. Like, you have so many things to choose from. It's the old story. They give you a cheap printer, but you got to pay for the ink. So it's kind of like that. All right, I'm gonna give you a quick somebody who did a good presentation. Where is my one here? Yeah, these are the 2 TED Talks here. 117 minutes, 115 minutes. We may get to it, if not, you'll eventually get all these links, and yeah, you can watch them yourself. Okay. Okay, right here, let's look at, this is basically an overview of what it means to cut the cord. And somebody put it on there. I have two other ones here, which are similar, but they have a little bit more emphasis on hardware rather than just the basics of it. So, you open that 5 minutes. This is 15 minutes, so. And for those who know, this guy reminds me of Dave Burson. So, if you know who Dave Burson is.
Your gutters? We'll clean your gutters, realign, and seal them from leaks, and install our award-winning gutter guard.
Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Today I'm going to be walking you through my ultimate cord cutter's guide for 2018. I suppose the first thing that we should get out of the way starting off the video is, what is a cord cutter? Well, a cord cutter is pretty much someone who chooses to get rid of their cable TV service package in hopes of saving money so that they can have a much more tailored experience as far as to what media they consume and also how they consume it, because with a cable TV service package, you're more than likely paying for hundreds or even 1,000 or more channels that you're never going to use, and it can be very expensive. I know before we got rid of our cable TV here in this house, we were paying around $200 to have cable TV as well as internet. We didn't have a home phone included in that because pretty much everyone has cell phones now, and we just don't have a home phone at all. So that was just cable and internet. We were paying a little bit over $200 with all of the rental fees and everything incorporated into that. Once we got rid of our cable TV, we were cut down to just $7 for a very fast internet package, which is where we're going to start off with this. Because once you get rid of your cable, chances are you're going to have a little bit more in your budget that you can dedicate to other things, like getting a faster internet package, as long as they are available in your area. I'm well aware that something like 21% of America still is without broadband internet, which is classified as anything 25 megabit per second and upwards. So if you are unfortunate enough to not live in one of those areas, you may have to kind of look at things and see if it's really going to be worth it for you if you have really, really slow internet. For something like Netflix or Hulu, if you're trying to watch in 1080p, 10 megabit per second should be perfectly fine. If you're wanting to get into more like Ultra HD and 4K TV packages, you're looking at 15 to 25 megabit per second. At least that's what's recommended by Amazon and Netflix respectively, who both have their own forms of Ultra HD streaming services. So basically what I would recommend for a TV package is I would look at 10 to 25 megabit per second as a starting point if you're wanting to do 1080p. If you want to do 4K, I would say 25 megabit per second is probably going to be okay. If you have the option though, with your ISP and it's not going to cost you a total arm and a leg, try to get somewhere between 25 and 100, and you should really be golden, as then you'll be set up for streaming on multiple devices at once. Obviously, if you have a bigger family, and you're going to have more people connected over the Wi-Fi on tablets, gaming devices, or possibly even streaming Netflix or Hulu on 1 to 2 televisions at the same time, you're going to want to get a little bit more bandwidth, as it can fill up pretty quickly if you've got multiple people in the house trying to run different streaming services all at the same time. I personally have a 250 megabit per second download speed with Comcast, which I don't like Comcast. I don't promote Comcast. It's just unfortunate enough that is the only high-speed internet provider in my area, as Verizon on my street where I currently live is just awful. And I'm just waiting to get better Fios packages available in my area from Verizon so that I can get fast symmetrical internet like I had at my previous address. So I'm kind of stuck with Comcast right now. And chances are there are a lot of you out there that are not going to have options as far as ISPs are concerned. So definitely an option to weigh, but I would say cutting the cable and switching over to just internet, it's at least worth investigating and see if there's an affordable option for you to upgrade your internet and get a faster speed than what you maybe currently have. If you've already got high-speed internet, 25 megabit per second and upward, then you already are golden, unless you just want to upgrade it because you can now, because you're saving so much money getting rid of the cable, then definitely go ahead and look at that. Now, if you're not planning to take advantage of streaming services via your smart TV or an external device of some sort, then you can go the route of getting yourself an HD TV antenna, which you can find on Amazon from anywhere from $20 to $100, depending on the range that you need from the device, or if it's an indoor versus outdoor. Obviously, the easiest ones that are going to be able to use are the indoor ones, which you just get and set up and plug it right into the back of your television via the coax in. So that's your antenna input, and you can just start streaming TV shows right from that device completely free, because there are antennas scattered all about the country that are transmitting HD TV shows for these antennas. And this isn't like the old school like rabbit ears on top of the TV. These are usually very discreet devices that you can put in your living room that can fit in with your decor, and you can watch your favorite TV shows and the news and local sports from CBS, Fox, NBC, ABC, the CW, all of those basic TV channels that you would expect to have. You will be able to get over the HDTV antenna, as long as one is within proximity of where you live. If you go over on the website No Cable, which I will link down in the description below, you could bring up a map of your current area and you can see where antennas are around you, the distance of the antennas, and what type of channels you can expect to get at your exact location. And this will vary based on where you live. If you're in a much more rural area, which is not likely to have as many antennas, you're probably going to have a very limited selection of channels. Whereas if you're someone like me who lives within 30 to 50 miles of New York City, you're going to have a lot of options and you'll be able to get good quality HD streams. So it's really going to vary depending on your area. But if you want to check out the map on No Cable, I'm going to have that link down in the description so you can see what is available in your area if you want to explore the option of using an HDTV antenna. If you don't want to go the HDTV antenna route, you do want to take advantage of streaming apps, which will probably be the vast majority of you. There are some recommended apps out there that I would suggest starting off with. Netflix is probably going to be the first and most common one that many people probably already have and have been consuming for a number of years, either through their TV or their tablets, phones, what have you. So Netflix is obviously going to be a big one. They've got lots of movies and original programming on there, and that for a lot of people could be just enough. If you don't watch a lot of television and you are just concerned with watching Netflix original programming like Orange is the New Black, Black Mirror, Stranger Things, which are some shows that I like to watch on Netflix, then you might be able to get away with just having Netflix if you don't need to have a live TV service. For live TV, you do also have a couple options as well. You have Sling, which is probably one of the most well-known live TV packages, which you can get you can get one for like $20, you can get a $40 option. It really depends on what kind of channels that you want to be included along with that, but that's nice that you can at least tailor that option for you. I had previously had the Sling $40 package, which includes pretty much every one of their channels besides some premium ones, and it was a good service. I didn't have a problem with the interface or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I ended up switching over to Hulu Live TV because I was already paying, I believe, $14 a month for Hulu for their no commercial package, which is basically just a streaming service like Netflix with original programming as well as a library of movies and TV shows, which are updated usually right away after the shows air. The very next day, you'll be able to find those shows over on the Hulu streaming service. But in the past year or so, they added on a live TV option, which brought my bill for Hulu up to $44 a month. So I thought that was a better deal, as I was paying $40 a month already for Sling, and then another $14 for Hulu Live, for just Hulu without the live TV. So only adding on an extra $30 to that was better than having the Sling with $40. And also the Hulu Live TV had CBS, which is something that I wanted so that I could watch local sports things that were on the local CBS channel here for some football games and things along those lines. So that is why I ended up going with Hulu Live TV at the end of the day. Amazon Prime is another one. If you already have Amazon Prime, then you already have access to this type of programming. You just have to, you can go to the website, you can use your streaming device or whatever, and you can watch Amazon movies and original programming on there as well. Other ones on top of that I would probably recommend that I have subscribed to are HBO and Showtime, but these are definitely going to be your more premium packages. I believe both of them are $15 a month each, so that is definitely going to ramp up your cost. But the nice thing about it is it's just a monthly fee, and if you only want it for like one thing, like let's say you just want to watch Game of Thrones on HBO, which could be a lot of you out there, you can get the HBO package for just the months that HBO is running the Game of Thrones series, or you can wait until the whole season is over if you can stay away from the spoilers, and then you can just binge watch it all in a week and then cancel the service. Whatever you want to do. I leave it active pretty much all year round, so it's there though if the option is if you just want to have it for those few months while Game of Thrones is running. then you could do that and then cancel it for the rest of the year so that you're not paying $15 a month for 9 months that you're not going to be able to utilize the service for any of the other programming on HBO. And chances are your smart TV may already have a lot or even all of these apps built right into it. If you're using a more high-end smart TV, they'll probably have things like Netflix on there. You might be able to get Hulu, Amazon, Sling, what have you, will probably be built into your TV. But if you're using maybe a little bit older HD TV or something like I'm using, which is a Hisense 4K TV, which doesn't have a ton of apps built into it. It only has Netflix, Amazon, and then it has like Vudu and YouTube. I do use the YouTube, Amazon, and Netflix on there, which all work in 4K, which is very nice. But for the other services that I want to consume, like HBO, the Hulu Live TV and everything, I needed to get a dedicated external device. Now, if you already have something like a game console, or maybe a Blu-ray player, those could work for streaming devices as well. But if you don't have those, then you can go the route of getting something like a Roku or an Amazon Fire Stick, which is what I use. I have Amazon Fire Sticks on every single TV in my house so that I can run all of these apps and multiple people can watch them all at once. It's a beautiful thing. Outside of using all of the streaming apps and the HD TV antenna, there are some other ways that you could be able to consume content as well. One would be right off of a laptop. If you have a laptop with an HDMI output, then you could run that directly to your TV to watch movies and TV shows right from your laptop. If you have some programming already downloaded 100% legally onto your laptop, then you could run that directly to your television. Or if you didn't have a streaming device like a Roku or a Fire Stick and you can't afford to go out and get one, but you do have a laptop and an HDMI cable, you can run those apps right from your web browser or from the Windows Store apps directly to your TV as well, which would help you if you are in a pinch, like I said, and you don't happen to have the money to pick up a streaming device and maybe your television doesn't support those applications. It is one way that you could go. And lastly would be just USB thumb drives. I can't tell you how many movies and TV shows we watch in this house directly off of USB thumb drives, which are 110% legally acquired all of the time. I assure you, believe me, okay? Trust me, I get them from Velvet Blu-rays. You know those things that come with the DVD, the Blu-ray, you install it on the computer, and then you watch it with the USB, okay? It's huge, it's tremendous, maybe the biggest. But in all seriousness, you can definitely watch stuff off of USBs on your television as long as it has a USB input. Some older HD TVs might only have a service USB jack, so just check the back of your TV. You might have multiple USB inputs, like my TV does. We have one service USB jack, which you can use for firmware updates if you don't have it connected over the internet, but we've also got two other USB inputs, which I can put multiple USB sticks in, and then I can watch movies and TV shows right off of the USB with all of my legally acquired movies and TV shows, 110% legally acquired. So that's another route you can go if you don't want to hook up the laptop. It's a lot more convenient, certainly, than hooking up a laptop. In years past, I remember when I used to live back down in Florida, that was actually something I used to do. I would hook up a laptop right to the TV and be able to watch movies, but once we got like a TV that supported USB, that was a much easier route to just be able to copy it over to that as opposed to doing the laptop or burning a DVD, which was done even years before that. So yeah, just there's lots of routes out there to be able to get programming onto your television outside of those traditional streaming apps, which are going to add to your total cost. But still, overall, at the end of the day, with all the TV services added on, it's still going to be less than paying for cable, and more importantly, you're getting a more tailored experience. You can choose when you want to watch stuff anytime whatsoever. The Hulu Live TV even has a DVR built into it. You can get extra storage if you want to pay more for it. But overall, I am very pleased with our service here. My girlfriend is pleased with it as well. She doesn't miss having cable TV at all. And when I moved in here, she was interested in trying to get rid of the cable and see how it worked for her. And now she wouldn't have it any other way. She loves being able to just have all of her shows right there on Hulu at the end of a work week, so she can just binge watch them over the weekend without having to worry about the DVR on the TV or anything. Everything is pretty much just there and ready to go to watch whenever we want it, which is really one of the best things about cutting the cord, is just the on-demand nature of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, guys. If there's any questions that I didn't happen to answer in this video, please let me know down in the comments below, and I'll try to respond to as many of them.
Okay, that's basically it. He talked very fast.
Did you get all that?
Sense of what he was explaining about cutting the cord? Was that fairly clear to you guys? Or did he talk too fast? Yes,
Yeah, I got a question. So he's trying, why is he cutting the cord, you know? Is he trying to save money?
Yeah, well,
Because it looks like he's spending a lot of money.
well, yeah, actually, I think it was $200 he was paying. He was getting pretty much everything. For $60, he was getting what he was paying about $200 a month for. And then you can add on with like the HBO and stuff for this and that. But it was a lot less than all that. I mean,
But all those
whatever,
devices.
how many people here actually have a cable and watch cable? There's like 4, 5, 6. How many people don't even have a TV? Okay, that's 2. Okay. 3, all right. Interesting. So, but I mean, you could watch all that on your computer. I mean, that's basically Roku, for example. It's you put Roku via your computer onto the TV. So you watch everything on a big screen that you would normally watch on, you know, on Netflix or Amazon via Roku. You would watch on your TV, whereas you could just watch straight directly onto your TV set on the small screen on your lap. So.
How much does Roku charge?
Well, I mean, you know, keep in mind that a Roku is a one-time thing. It's a box that you pay for anywhere from $30 to $50.
Yeah, I think it's a little more.
It depends which version you have. But I mean, just go on Amazon or go to a store, go to Best Buy or PJ Richards, whatever, and see what's on sale. But it's a one-time charge. Whereas if you have a cable system, you're paying every month. You have the monthly cable box. So I mean, that's the difference with that. And it's the same thing with let me see here. You have there's other. There are other. I can show you what the guide is for setting up the. So, I mean, here's the basic thing. What you're doing is getting rid of. I mean, I still have my cable box. Okay, I'm Mr. Collector for Punishment and Entertainment. So I'm paying about $200 a month. I also get a DVR, so I can record anything, anytime. And watch it anytime on my DVR. Okay. You can also get, if you want to put together your own system, you can buy a DVR. So you can create basically your own hard drive. So you can store just like the DVR you get if you're part of the cable package. And it's a lot less because again the DVR is every month. So you're paying for the cable every month, you're paying for the DVR every month, and if you want to, for instance, I ended up getting a second box so I can watch it in the other room. And if you don't do that, I mean, if you don't have the second box, you can just run a long cable from the first box all the way around, and it works pretty well. I did that for a while. So basically how it works is you have to have a broadband hookup, as he was saying, okay? That's the first thing. Then you have to get an antenna so you can watch everything, all the network stations, plus about, you can get about 55 different stations with an antenna if you have a good window position on it. So basically you're getting, on your TV with just an antenna, you're getting just everything you would get on the networks, except the 4 networks are now like 55 stations. You get Nostalgia TV and Spanish and Chinese, you get all those stations on there. Then you have to get a streaming device, which is the Roku, the Chromecast, the Fire Stick, the Apple Box. I mean, these are all versions of basically Roku. And then once you get Roku, they'll hook you up. Again, you can get, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. Those are the 3 biggies, basically, as he explained. I think it's $9 a month for Netflix, and they're getting more and more original movies. Amazon, if you already get Amazon Prime, you get a bunch of free movies. And you can also, again, they have first-run movies on there. If you want it, they have a whole range of free movies that comes with Amazon Prime, and if you want to pay more, then you can pay $3 for a first-run movie. It's cheaper than going to the theater, where those, like, say, Wonder Woman closed in September and October. It was on Netflix for about $4, rather than paying $12 or $15 in the theater. So if you wait for a while, you can get it, or you can wait till it comes on, on some other on network TV package with commercials, of course. Okay, so let me just show you one more thing, and then I think we'll let my compadre talk to you about Roku channels, which basically is everything I'm talking about now, but it's a Roku channel. It's like Roku TV, basically. And he can tell you more about that.
I'm going to be talking about YouTube, not Roku.
Yeah, on YouTube channels.
You can get YouTube channels on Roku.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's obviously here too, but I mean, it's both on the screen and on your computer.
Question?
Yeah.
There was some flat screen TVs that came out that weren't smart. Then you paid whatever, $20, $30, and you got a thumb drive that made it smart. Were those Amazon sticks that he was?
The thumb drive is different. The thumb drive, you can now get a thumb drive, and it works like a Roku box.
Okay.
Okay, that's what that is. But now they have smart TVs where basically you boot it on and you have your Roku, your YouTube, your Amazon right there. And they have, there's a streaming search that you can just watch. If there's a program you want to, that you've heard about and you want to watch, you can go to this website and you can find any programs. And here's just a few of the different channels you get. If you get one of these streaming services. All these, so if you want to watch, for instance, I was always a big fan of Kung Fu, the original TV show, they were parody, but I had problems finding it. So I was able to go to this thing here, but in Kung Fu, the TV show, and I actually found that you can watch the first season free on Amazon Prime. If you want the other two, you got to pay for it. It's like $3 or $4 for the other seasons. But that's the kind of stuff you can do if you have a Netflix or an Amazon. And there's a lot of shows like that. They'll give you the first season of some show you might have watched when you were a kid. You want to watch it again. They'll give you the first year for free, and then if you wanted to watch some more, you got to pay a few bucks for it.
They did that for the Good Wife when it went to cable. They put the first chapter online on regular TV.
Yeah.
You had to go to cable.
Yeah, that's the all access. Yeah, that's the all, and that again, you can get all access if you have the Roku box or the other stuff. It's on there, and you can just make it one of your apps. So you can just go to. It's like turning the channel. It's an app that you can just go to over here, and
something that's not exactly a first-tier show. For a while, I was kind of interested in watching Forensic Files, for example. So I would go to start page, I would click on the video link, and I would say Forensic Files TV documentary show. I put that in, and I get a bunch of panels for different shows. What level of TV service is that? Just generally?
Forensic Files is, I think, reality TV. So, I mean, that page that I just had, let me go back to the page and I'll show you here. Let me go to.
I mean, this start page that I get it through is basically Google without hiding my IP address. And it's sort of general Google gateway.
Well, the thing is, you would probably, find that, Forensic Files might be on YouTube. I don't know.
No, I already find it on
with
this blind Google app that I have.
Okay, so you can just, so you look up forensic files.
I go to startpage.com and I click on video.
Okay. So it probably took you to the, I mean, every station has their own webpage. So it probably took you to the webpage where that ran, and you can watch it online. But again, if you watch it online, I'm not, you probably have to watch other commercials. Okay? Most
Actually, that was the benefit.
Yeah.
I'd watch it online, no commercials. But on channel 68-3,
Oh, that's interesting.
it was with
Because
commercials.
usually you still get commercials. For, I mean, if you watch on the website where the program originally came from, you still.
No commercials.
Really? Interesting, okay. All right.
Can we get a copy of these?
Yeah, this is gonna be, I'm gonna email you the whole page and a half thing, so you can take your time and go to all these links. And,
Is that what you're saying?
yeah, yeah, I mean, we have, well, if you have given us your email, you'll get all this stuff. I'll just send it to Hank, I think, he can, send it out. So let me just, I know, but, you know, I'm not a techie like you guys. I think you guys are the hard techie stuff. I'm just a content guy. I want to show you one more thing, then I want to bring Brendan up here to do his YouTube thing. Anyway, let me just show you. This is, so basically, Roku, Chromecast, Fire Stick, Game Boy, and Apple Box are the other options that will get you into this whole world of streaming, you know, entertainment and sports, and, you know, Fuku is better for sports if you're a sports nut. I don't think you have too many sports nuts here. Just regular.
Objection.
You're a sports nut? You want something, never mind. Okay, let me give you some of the choices here. This is all the niche channels that you can get if you get, you know, either a Roku or a, give you a sense of the options. Okay. I mean, this is the ranking of the top channels for streaming. I don't know if you can see it. Mickey, Crunchyroll, the Cinema Club, these are all like basically, as you can tell. French cinema, you want French cinema? French cinema, yes. Filmstock actually, I think, is going to be going out of operation. Filmstock is basically a variation of Turner Classic movies.
You said it's going out of business?
Yeah, that's closing down, it didn't make it. Twitch, interactive service, I'm not sure what that is. Shudder is horror, if you know horror.
Twitch is for live streaming, a lot of video games, but also hobbies and stuff.
Yeah. And if you actually, if you get Roku, every month, every Saturday, I get a little email from Roku. And you wouldn't believe the different stations they have. Basically, public access. Have you ever seen public access cable in New York? And every month I get new, like, you know, everything, the Christian Broadcast Network has their little channel to anything you can imagine, you know, of stuff. But there's like 20 different channels. If you are into like all-time cartoons, you can find that. If you're into cult movies that are so bad they're actually good.
I see ads for Sling on channel 68 something or other.
Yes, Sling basically what it does is it puts and you can choose all the cable channels you would get on Time Warner or whatever system you're using, and you can get it on Sling. Remember he said he was paying, what was it, $20 a month for a Sling? But basically all those channels that you may or may not watch, basically what you can do if you do it right is a la carte. You know, rather than having people pay, you know, $100 a month for one level, $150 for two level, and you gotta figure out, now if I get second level, do I get this station that I want to watch, or do I have not to do it? This way it's a la carte, you can do it yourself a lot easier. So you're not stuck with what they want to give you as far as levels and how much you pay.
Yeah, the price went up on Sling, it went up to $25 now.
It went up now? Okay. Yeah.
For the basic one, the first tier, whatever.
What is moving?
Movie is a curated collection of independent films and cult classics. Tube TV is popular movies and TV shows. Now, some of these come in commercials, you know, but it's not a movie that you're not going to find anywhere else. And some of them, you know, like, some of them are following, here's a Sundance, you know, a doc club. So these are, you know, Screen Box for horror movies. You seem to like horror movies. If you like mystery shows from the BBC in Australia, A1 TV is very nice. All this stuff you see on Channel 13 and public broadcasting, they have a whole bunch more from Australia and other places that you can't find.
Acorn?
Yeah, that's Acorn. All the mystery. Cambay is a Spanish language streaming service. Brown Sugar offers black films in the 70s, will be the black exploitation film. That's all they run. So, I mean, you can see all the niche stuff here. I haven't seen many of them, but those are the kind of things that you can create your own a la carte file. And so, that's that. Brendan, you want to do why don't you come up and explain to them how your YouTube channel stuff works, or how you do it.
Is it Mike? Mike? Yeah.
I sure do. Sticky handle.
Do you want to do general questions and answers when we're all done, or?
Yeah, and if we have more time, I can play. I have a couple of TED Talks. If you want to do 10, 15 minutes on either Reed Hastings about Netflix or about popular culture and whether TV is following popular culture or popular culture is following TV.
Is the dog wags the tail?
Right, that's right, yeah. Who wags the, yeah.
Repeating the prior practice. Just give me a minute. All right, let's pick a page to show while I'm starting. Leave on this page. While I'm talking, if you want to write down this URL, you can see all of my slides when you get home. And all those blue names are hyperlinks, of course. And Dave, why don't you make sure that you put that URL in the email that we send out to everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. How many people were under the impression that everything on YouTube is basically viral videos and angry political pundits yelling about fake news? Raise your hands. Anybody? How many people use YouTube all the time, like 10 hours a week or more? Okay, we got a few, but not everyone. Okay. So where I'm coming from, my wife and I have a small apartment, and we have a TV. It's in a box. I never unpacked it since we moved in here from Boston, and so our TVs are basically 4 or 5 tablets. Seriously, I think we might have 5 tablets and 3 laptops at least. You know, they're around the house. Sometimes we use one tablet for reading and writing while you're using another one for TV. It looks like a Star Trek scene in our apartment. But we don't have a big screen, and if we want to watch TV together, we just get together in bed and put the tablet in between and good to go. But of course, we're talking about YouTube. You know from earlier tonight that YouTube works just fine on your TV if you either have it built into the TV or you plug in some device that will allow you to access YouTube. So I wanted to talk to you about all of the programs that I like to watch on YouTube. And this isn't like, you should watch all of these channels and check it out. The point that I'm trying to make here is that there's some great stuff on YouTube, and we're only talking about the free stuff. There's basically 4 kinds of programs on YouTube. There's the free stuff where somebody is either not incurring any cost to make it, it's just like a hobby, like I want to put some information out there. That's the first type. Then you have the types that are paid for by somebody who wants to get a message out there, like propaganda, marketing, or whatever, and some of that stuff is good. And then you've got the stuff that is free to watch, but it's also got advertising attached to it, or it has, I don't know if we didn't talk about Patreon, did we? A lot of creators will use Patreon to say, you know, you can access most of my stuff for free wherever, on YouTube or somewhere else, but I'd appreciate it if you kick in like $1, $5, $10 a month, and that way they don't have to run as many ads, and they might, if they're really popular and enough people pay them, they don't have to run any ads, and they can actually quit their day job. Very few people actually do that. And then the 4th type of YouTube program, which we're not going to talk about, is they have these YouTube Red. I haven't actually looked into it, but it's basically YouTube's answer to Netflix and Hulu. I think you pay by the program. It might be paid for everything on YouTube Red for a certain amount per month. $25 a month? Okay.
What about if there's a particular movie and they're asking you to pay $4.99 to see that particular
Okay, that would be the 5th type of program.
Okay.
There's like you can watch this one video file if you pay us $2 or $4 or whatever. So those last 2 where you have to pay YouTube, we're not talking about that right now. What I'm talking about is when you look at this list at home, this is a bunch of free programs that most of them are either well done or really well done. This is like actual TV you can sit back and watch. Some of it tends to be like 5 to 12 minutes. Some of it is 30 minutes per episode, and some of them are longer. And so I think I'll start with what's my favorite program. This is probably my favorite TV program ever so far, Sailing SV Delos. That's the one down here on Sailing. So this is a really high production value travel show that basically started like, I think it's either 8 or 10 years ago, where it's like a couple of brothers that bought a sailboat and took off in the sailboat and said, we're going to sail around the world. And after they left, and they had a camera or 2 and they had a laptop, and they said, well, we should record videos of what we're doing so that we don't have to send emails to our family to show them video of what we're doing and how it's going. And that snowballed over probably a long process of a year or 2 of like development and experimenting. It turned into an actual weekly TV show where people can just go in, watch it on YouTube. The video that you see on YouTube today, the most recent one, is probably, the footage was recorded 3 or 4 months ago because they just turn on the cameras all the time. They have stacks and stacks of hard drives in the boat, hopefully not contaminated by salt. And when they have time, they sit down on the computer and edit them into TV shows. And you've got a real legitimate theme song and everything. I can show it, but I'm just going to talk quickly. We don't have a lot of time. They've got a theme song. They've got animated maps of where they're going. It looks like something that would fit nicely on PBS or NBC or whatever. But they don't want to partner with any commercial people. They just want to put it on YouTube and say, if you like it, give us money. And the viewers are paying them directly. They have complete control. Nobody else has any say in what goes into the video. So there's no producer in California trying to direct them and say, we really would prefer you do this or that. They just talk to their fans, and if the fans don't like it, they change it. Really. Another vlog that's like that is Sailing Sophisticated Lady. I think they may have actually been vlogging longer, but Sailing SV Delos is more high production value. There's 4 sailing shows that I pay attention to. Let's see, what else do I want to highlight? If you're into music theory, Adam Neely is a bassist in New York City. He does some recordings. He's basically a bassist for hire, either for recording sessions or gigs. And he talks about music theory and how the business of being a gig musician works. And it's just really well done. Like he writes out the script ahead of time. He's got some animation and stuff, and he really knows his stuff. He's really, really smart. I think he's only like 25 years old too. Makes me jealous. Techmon is this guy in Texas that plays around with old quirky, old hardware or quirky hardware in the realm of like home entertainment and video games and stuff. And he takes them apart, fixes them, does a lot of restoration work, talks about the history of the machine. These are all in different episodes that are all about 15 minutes long. I just described the 8-bit guy. I said Techmoan, but I was describing the 8-bit guy. Techmoan's a guy in England that does similar stuff, but more consumer audio, video, and entertainment, not so much the video game stuff. What else we got? Captain Disillusion, really, really good. Again, this is like made like a TV show. Captain Disillusion watches all the viral videos that people share and looks for the stuff that's just kind of like faked together on CGI or camera tricks and stuff. And he picks the videos that people believe are like the real thing. And he's like, no, that's not. Let me show you exactly how I did that in my backyard. That's a really great show. Rare Earth is, this guy talks about interesting places and people around the world. Historical figures or people that are left, groups of people that are here right now. Talks about how they got the way they are. And the way that he presents it is he writes up this big script ahead of time, and then I think he's got a drone pilot that flies a drone like 15, 20 years back from where he is, and sort of like comes in closer, goes further out back, and goes really high and looks down and does all this stuff while he's recording on a mic like this. And he's like standing in some interesting place and talking about the place or the people who live there. That's a good show. What else we got? Red Letter Media is kind of funny. Movie reviews.
How about Film Theory? How's that Film Theory, John?
Film Theory is kind of cool. I think, yeah. So Film Theory, it's one guy on camera and I think 3 or 4 writers in the background. They take a look at a particular episode of a TV show or a film or something, one story, and say, I found a plot hole, but let me give you some really wacky explanation of how that plot hole actually makes sense. And he did one where Disney paid him to do have you ever heard of native advertising? That's when a company pays you to like feature their product in the story that you're telling. So he did this native ad for Disney where Disney said...
That's product placement in feature films.
Yeah.
That's what the whole product is.
And he was upfront about it. I mean, there's nothing dishonest going on. But Disney said, we're going to be relaunching DuckTales, and we want you to explore how much money is in Scrooge McDuck's money bin. And he did all this crazy, like first he analyzed like where's all the evidence in there's a paper comic book series, there's at least one cartoon on TV, there's been a couple of films, and he looked at all the little snippets of like evidence of actual physical quantity of gold or mass or height or anything like that. And he came up with like these error bars that were like just all over the place. And he somehow distilled that down to an answer and was like, it's probably something like this. But it was fun the way he told it. And it's just basically just geeking out about like, let's analyze and find the facts that aren't really there in films. And how are we doing on time? We've got a few minutes left, so check out this file when you get home. If you wrote down the address, you can check it out right away, or you can wait for the email. Do we have any, does anybody have any YouTube programs that they really, really enjoy and want to shout it out? Or do you have any general questions about everything that was talked about today? You go ahead.
What do the asterisks mean up there? I noticed some of the links you have, they have an asterisk just to the left. What does that mean?
It just means that I'm happy about it. Like it's one of the better ones.
Oh,
It's like, the list is like 60 shows, and then I put a green star next to the ones that I really, really like. But it doesn't mean anything. It's just my favorite.
I was just thrashing around on YouTube, and I did just look for documentaries. There are BBC documentaries. There are other sort of branded series of documentaries. There are tons of documentaries on YouTube.
Yes.
They're great. I love these.
Yeah. As chances are, if it's older than 5 or 10 years and somebody tells you about a documentary, you might have like a 60% chance that it's somebody put it on YouTube, either licensed properly or not.
Whether it's licensed or
But
not.
documentaries don't get a lot of circulation in commercial world, so a lot of them are like, well, let's just put it up on YouTube so people can see it. Kevin, you had a point?
Yeah, Closer to Truth. It's a lecture series. Really high-end, philosophically based lectures, interesting to me anyway.
Okay. Anybody else? Any general questions? What do I do next? Okay. Dave, any final points?
Not that I can think of, but I mean, I'm gonna send you all the other stuff you can get to.
How do we get this list here?
There's a URL at the bottom of the screen.
Could you speak it, because some of us don't.
If you don't want to write anything down, grab my business card, go to my website, and then look at my blog.
Okay.
If you can't see, I'll make you do it quick.
Yeah. go.glump.net/YouTube favorites with hyphen. go.glump.net/YouTube favorites. Or just grab a business card. I'll make sure that, right now this page isn't on the featured list on the homepage, but it will be tonight. Actually, I'll do it for you.
Yeah, he put it on my computer, so I can find it.
Yeah, this is in the Brendan folder on the desktop. You can just pull the URL from the slides.
This is what you can see in the bottom there, absolutely.
And Dave will be sending all the stuff that he had in an email eventually.
How do you find stuff?
Oh, I forgot to mention that. How do you find stuff on YouTube? It's very important that you play around with it on the desktop browser. Let's just open up the last, just something that's in history here. We don't have to play it, but wait for it to load. By the way, the YouTube user interface is so slow loading, it annoys me. But eventually, when it's done loading, somewhere on the screen, you'll see, if you like this video, check out these suggestions.
Right.
And you can be logged in or not logged in, it's up to you. But if you're logged in, it's going to keep that in your profile, all the stuff that you did watch. And it's always going to be showing you stuff that's related to this video and related to things that you've watched in the past. So probably that list of 60 there, I would say more than 3/4 of those programs I found because I was looking at the suggestions list. And if you don't have any suggestions to start with, if you have nothing, when you start with nothing, just like what's a topic that you want to that you want to learn about, type it in search and see what comes up. And if you don't know how to evaluate them, go by the number of views. It's probably a good way to start. Yeah. When you find a channel that you like, you can click subscribe to this channel, and that only works if you're logged in. And then you can go to my subscriptions page, and it shows you all of your subscriptions, the ones that have updated in the last few days, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can tell you with the Roku channels, like I said.
Roku does a similar thing.
Yeah, and like every month, every week I send you a whole bunch of new channels. You can spend hours just clicking on all the different channels and seeing how good or bad they are. I mean, it's like, it's like having 1,000 public access shows, but they're all on at the same time, so you can just keep up to do them and see which one you want rather than having to go, and wait for the time to happen. So anyway, so you can spend hours just doing that, trying to find something interesting, quirky, or something you've never seen before. So anyway, all right, so that's the story.
Thank you very much.